I think my boyfriend tricked me into paying for our holiday. In May, we traveled to Spain for our first couple holiday. I mentioned to him that we had rent to pay the following week, and he said to me that he'll see what he can do. On the second day, he said that his card had been blocked from his bank in the UK and couldn't access anything, and that he only had cash on him, which was €100, because he was relying on his card. My sis, your man's a liar. Your man is a liar. Your man is a liar and he's taking you for an idiot.
My baby looking too good, yeah, she perfect. No, she worth it. When she pull up, all them man, them flirting. And yeah, she know that she a dime. Call up on my line. Told her, baby, bring it one time. Yeah. Girl, sit down and relax.
Yo, what's really good though? It's your girl Yezziyezzir. You are locked into another banging episode of Hey Sis. Whether you're watching on the YouTube, you know, the good old YT, or you are listening on Spotify, I want to say welcome back, man. How have you been? I'm hoping that you've had a good week. If not, my goal is to put a pep in your step. In case you haven't locked in for a while, we've got a lot of things going on, but the most important one is this. Hey Sis, we're building a team. We're building a big, great team of like-minded people to help us with our mission, with healing the world. I know it sounds ambitious, but stay with me right now. It's ambitious, but stay with me. Healing the world, yeah, with one healthy conversation at a time. We're going to have the uncomfortable conversations so one day we can be comfortable from the inside out. And we can do that with your help, whether it's a small contribution or a big contribution. Each and every one is so important for us to get to where we need to get to. If you're thinking, yeah, Yezzi, listen, I'm with you, I'm on board, how do I do it? Well, down below in the description box is a link where you can make a donation today. And if you can, we'd really appreciate that. And hopefully we get to see you in a real life with some of the plans that we got in action. Now, before we go any further, make sure that you like, make sure you subscribe. I hope you're subscribed to the YT. And I hope you drop a comment afterwards because we got a different one. We're going to switch it up, okay? We're gonna switch it up. So before we get into it, I'm gonna need you to get a mug, a cup, a glass. But if you got yourself a Hey Sis mug, which if you haven't, down in the description box, you can get yourself one of these cute mugs. Please get it expeditiously, immediately. Take a sip. Because something was brought to my attention. The Hey Sis Instagram receives DMs like no man's business, as you can imagine. We got 10,000 plus followers, 10,000 of our family members. You, yes, you out there engaging with us. And we had quite the dilemma. And it's like, if we did not talk about this, if we did not speak on this, I couldn't rest. I couldn't sit well because how many of us have been in situations that we wish that we could speak to about our friends and our family, but sometimes shame will get to you. So you can be anonymous. We will not bait up your name, your situation, nothing. What you put in there for us to discuss is what we will discuss. Nothing more, nothing less. So without any further ado, and at this point, you should have a mug in your hand or maybe for this one, a glass of wine. Not only me, but maybe you and I in the comment section, we can help our good sis here. So let's get into this dilemma. Hey sis, I think my boyfriend tricked me into paying for our holiday. Hey Yezzi, I think my boyfriend tricked me into paying for our holiday. In May, we traveled to Spain for our first couple holiday. I'm 28 and my boyfriend is 35. We agreed that we would do a payment plan for our holiday. We both paid our own way, which I wasn't really happy about, but he promised me that when we go there, he would pay for everything. Food, shopping, and all of our activities. So I didn't mind paying my way. When we got to Barcelona for the first day, everything was fine. He paid for a cab for us to get to the hotel, and we had dinner as well. On the second day, he said that his card had been blocked from his bank in the UK and couldn't access anything, and that he only had cash on him, which was €100, because he was relying on his card. At first, I believed him, but now I don't know how to feel. We were there for a week, and I paid for everything, every single meal, all of our activities, and he's just lucky because I had just been paid while we were out there. He said that when we get back, he'll pay me immediately once he calls the bank for them to take off the block on his account. While he was taking a shower, I saw a notification on his phone from his brother saying, "You can send it to my Monzo." Oh, Jesus. Which I thought was weird to say to someone who doesn't have access to his account. That's what I'm thinking as well. When we got back to London, he didn't say anything. I thought I'd give him some time to rest since we just got back from our trip. But the next day, I said to him that I really need the money back because I have bills to pay. I didn't expect to spend over £1,000. £1,000 for our Barca trip. Wow. Yeah, I'm so sorry that I would not spend that. But we're gonna get to the root of this. Don't you worry. While we were away, he told me that we should have the holiday we had planned. He has guts. Imagine you don't have the money. You're saying, nah, let's still have the holiday we planned though. He has guts, no shame. We went to the club, we had shisha, we did some shopping, we did everything because he said he'll pay me back. He did say he'll pay you back. When we got back home, he said that he's been calling the bank and they're saying that he needs to go into his local branch. When he came back from going to his local branch, he was rubbing his head constantly. I asked him what was wrong. He said that the bank needed to do some checks before they let him have access to his account. I mentioned to him that we had rent to pay the following week, and he said to me that he'll see what he can do. See what he can do. Okay. And that he might have to borrow money off a friend. At this point in time, I was scared to mention the fact that I had been looking at his phone while we were on holiday, but I felt that it was needed because for me to trust him, we have to have these conversations. You're not right. You're not wrong, sis. You're not wrong for that one. I asked him why his brother would say to him to send anything to his Monzo if he didn't have access to his account, and he immediately flipped out on me, saying that I'm going through his phone and that I've put him in a situation that's very awkward, that if he had the money, he would have paid for the holiday and he would pay for the rent, but right now he's in a situation that he can't control and I'm making him feel bad when he's trying his best. I don't know if he's telling the truth, but I don't know what I'm going to do since we moved in and we still have the rest of the year living in our new place. What should I do, sis? Let me take a sip. Oh, Lord of mercy. My sis, your man's a liar. Your man is a liar. Your man is a liar and he's taking you for an idiot. The truth of the matter is this. He's 35 years old. You're 28 years old. If you are going to date a man who is midway into another decade than yourself, you would think that the advantage of that is that he's settled. As in financially, he's settled. Mentally, there's a certain level of capacity that you expect. Maturity, dare I say. So if you're 28 years old dating a 35-year-old man, he's saying that, yeah, we should definitely do a vacation, and he can't even pay your way. I'm not saying that the man should have you in first class, but he can't do 2 economy tickets. And he's got a job. A 35-year-old man, you expect him to have a certain level of savings or a certain level of income. I'm sure that there was enough notice prior to the holiday as to why he can't get 2 economy tickets when you already mentioned that you did a payment plan is worrying, because be very, very, very conscious of the fact that a man of a certain age that still has very poor money habits, very bad on money financially, he cannot account for his incomings, outgoings, all these basic life skills, yeah? Like being able to pay bills on time and still have money left over, you will struggle. I'm not saying this for an effect. If you get with a man that doesn't know how to be financially responsible, sis, you will struggle. There'll be a lot of pain. There'll be a lot of back and forth in your life. There'll be a lot of stress. If you can identify in that man that you're seeing right now is not good with money, I'm talking on a basic level with his own personal stuff, run. Because you're going to end up taking care of him. You're going to end up mothering him. There is no term of endearment that you can put on a woman that can make me believe that if you say, oh yeah, you're like a mother to him in some way. No. People are trying to sucker you into raising him, okay? You're not going to raise him. There was somebody that had the duty of raising him. That's called his mum, his biological mother. You're supposed to build with him, yeah? Not raise him. So already for me, that's the first red flag, because you're already a 28-year-old woman, considerably young, okay? You're dating a 35-year-old man. I'm not going to question why he's dating a 20-year-old woman because you're at two different points in your life. But hey, whatever. You paid your way for the holiday. That's supposed to be a vacation. Cool. You get there now and he's saying that his card's been blocked. I'm so sorry, but the average person has 2 bank accounts. So I would have immediately said, that's fine. Where's your other card? For him to comfortably say, mind you, yeah, okay, cool. He got his card blocked. Say there's nothing he can do about all these monies there. How are you going to have the guts to tell me, oh no, we should still do everything we planned. Just pay for activities, pay for food, pay for a whole week. I'm not surprised you spent over £1,000. If you're having on average 2 to 3 meals a day, traveling between the activities, are you made of money? Sometimes it's okay. I think sometimes society has done this whole conversation of women, what do you bring to the table? What do you do? What can you offer other than looks? And now we've got a bunch of women being tricked out of their position, feeling like they have to prove themselves on a financial basis to make it look like they bring something to the table. Okay, I have no money, now what? Because there's a lot of men out here taking advantage of women who are financially stable because of this whole what do you bring to the table conversation. This narrative of saying, oh, I feel like now as a woman, I need to go over, above and beyond to prove I bring something more to the table. What more do you want? If I've already accumulated all these things for myself, that's just on an asset basis. We're not talking about education. If I've already gained all these things, do you really think I'm going to be an asset or a liability in this relationship? No, weigh it up. Put what I've done and achieved on a piece of paper. We both know I ain't no liability. So let's just cut all of that, bring into the table conversation. You know you're not. That's why he approached you in the first place. That's why he thought you were responsible enough to go and get a place together. He knows what he's doing. He's calculated this. Cool, you come back. I'm still trying to use good faith in this situation. And he has said he's going to pay you when you get back. I'm so sorry, but you know the thing that irritates me the most with people? If you borrow money off of me, I don't want to have to remind you to pay me back. And if I have to remind you to pay me back, it's 2 things. I will make sure I will never borrow you money again. Or if I have to remind you and you still take your time, I don't rate you. There's a certain level of respect I will not gather for you anymore, because for me, that's weird. You didn't have the money in the first place. I've given you the money and now you're acting like you can't remember to pay it back. But I won't forget. And now he's saying you got rent due. That's the thing that actually got me confused, because how are you agreeing to go on a holiday, as in the guy? Cool, your holiday spending money shouldn't be the same as your rent money. So you mean to tell me that you are 35 years old with one bank account, that one bank account has everything, your holiday money, your rent money, all of that. You didn't put anything aside, nothing in a different account. You have no way to access funds. Okay, let's just say you have one bank account. You ain't got no credit card, nothing. So you are stranded as we speak. And this is why I say it's worrying, because we need to be very conscious of who we get into relationships with. That means that man didn't have a single contingency plan in his life. So if you lot went on this holiday, yeah, okay, his card got blocked. There's a lot of women that they don't even take their purse when they go on holiday with their man. When they go out on dates, they don't take a card, cash, coins, nothing. They don't even have Apple Pay on their phone because they're confident that their man has got this. And their man tells them that they don't need to bring all of that. So what do? They bring themselves. They just look good. That's it. So if you hadn't been paid out there, if you didn't go out there with any cards, does that mean you're both stranded? And this is why they say you can't follow someone who's going to lead you into an abyss. It's the blind following the blind. So technically you saved the day when it came to the holiday. And now you're coming back and the man's talking about, when it comes to the rent, I'll see what I can do. So what does he expect you to do? To pay for the holiday and pay for the rent? I don't know. Maybe it's because we're using labels like boyfriend and partner, but it sounds like a scam to me. Just because it's your boyfriend doesn't mean you can't get scammed. People get scammed every single day. It doesn't matter about the level of proximity you have with someone. I'm just taking this in bit by bit. I'm not getting on to you. I'm just very passionate, and I hate when people take advantage of people, especially when it's a dynamic where you've got an age difference there. So a 35-year-old man reliant on a 28-year-old woman to basically be the breadwinner in the relationship. And it's not like she knew she was getting into this. You see, there's a lot of women that are, doing quite well in their careers, whatever. They know the type of guy they're with. They know what he does for her. But what you won't do is spring up the responsibility on someone. That is not fair and it's stressful because now you're locked in. You haven't got a kid with this man. If you just did the holiday, and this is why I say we shouldn't fast up ourselves to live with people that haven't got an actual responsibility over us in a legal capacity, as in marriage. Because had you just gone on the holiday, you took your L, you spent £1,000, if he never gave it back to you, that's fine. You have nothing tying you to this man. You have no children, no businesses. But now this man's locked you into a rent. He's now looked at you and said, yeah, my roof, when it comes to the roof over my head, the food in the fridge, sorted because I've attached myself to you. You got a contract with him. I don't know if you both got your names there or if you're involved, but I'll tell you this. If your name is not on that contract, pack your stuff and go back to your parents' house. I know we got pride and ego in the room, but you're going to have to tell them to move to the side because it's going to play on your mental health. All of this is fine now. You got the money coming in from work. You might do a little side job or something. Hey, look at you. I see you watching. I see you doing all these things. You keep keying. You might even get a pen and paper out taking notes. But before anything, you need to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. I'm going to give you a bit of time to do that. Okay, now let's get back to the episode. But the money's going to run out because remember, your money's nice now because all you thought about before was yourself. I only have to provide for myself. So yeah, I can get my nails done, hair done. I can go out with my friends, have a couple brunches, all that good stuff. And if I have to pay my way, I was maybe doing, minute stuff, whatever. If you're doing big boy rent paying now and utility bills, that money that looks sweet at one point at work, you're going to be saying it's not enough. So what are you going to do? Get a second job? If you're not on the tenancy agreement, baby girl, please pack your stuff and go. I'm not saying to break up with him. You can live separate lives, as in live separately and still date. If you want to date the man, get a feel for him, go ahead and date. I'm not saying you should break up with him. But if you are on that contract, I hope you have a break clause. Most contracts have a 12-month tenancy with a 6-month break clause, meaning that when you get to that 6-month mark, when you get to 4 months, you can let your landlord know, by the way, won't be renewing, just going to do the 6 months and bounce. Because if you've just newly moved in with this man, his finances already at the point when he goes, oh, I'll see what I can do with the rent. That man has not planned to take care of you, nor has he planned to build a life with you. He's planned to have a struggle, mate. A lot of men, they go out and find women that they know are financially stable. That's why they always emphasize, oh, I want a woman that's got herself together, her life together. You know why that's so important for them? Because they need to know that they got a backup plan, someone that will take care of them. They've left mummy's house. Mum's probably fed up of him, kicked him out or told him you've got X amount of time. That's why he's now at 35 telling a 28-year-old woman, can you pay for the holiday? Can you pay for the rent? Can you do all these things, X, Y, Z? And you know what's the killer as well? In your head, they will use lines like, I like the way you act like a wife. You're wifeable. You're wifey, Why do the men that want to take advantage of you the most always like to give you titles that you're not at? Like, you call a woman wifey, but she's not your wife. Because you use that as a term of endearment to finesse her to do wife duties on a girlfriend salary, a girlfriend level, a girlfriend title. And yes, we got to talk about it, because if I'm girlfriend, I'm girlfriend. If I'm wife, I'm wife. But don't try and take the mick out of me calling me wifey when you've only made me girlfriend, because there's responsibilities come into play when it's wifey. Because if you act up, you don't owe just me a duty of care. You don't owe me any kind of responsibility on an emotional side of things. It doesn't stop at that. we now legally binded together. That's why a lot of men think they're too smart and say, yeah, I'm not going to get married. It's not because they don't believe in marriage. It's because they know that marriage comes with accountability. That not only someone can say or demand of them, yeah, we're going to use the word demand. Are we asking? Okay, we can ask. But if it gets past the point of asking, we have to demand it. And then you have to get the state involved. You can't ignore the state. You might ignore the woman, but you can't ignore the state. And that's why a lot of them avoid it. In regards to you seeing the message from his brother saying you can send it to my Monzo, if that message came in through and through while you were on holiday, that means he had access to his accounts. He might not have had the £1,000 that you were expecting him to spend on that holiday, because I'm sure he wasn't sending his brother £1,000. Maybe he had less than that. Maybe he couldn't admit the fact that he didn't have the full amount and would rather say that I don't have it than to say I don't have enough. But there's a lot to be said for a man that can watch a woman suffer or do the things that are expected of him and not batter an eyelid. For me, that's something you have to be very careful of, because a man that truly loves you would want to go above and beyond to make sure that you're comfortable, because seeing your comfort, seeing your happiness is something that enriches him. Because I always respect a man based on his partner. If your woman looks happy, she looks well put together, she's happy to serve you in that capacity of a man and the leader of the relationship and the household and all these things, that's a good reflection on you. That means you're doing what you need to do. But if I see a woman that she looks sad, she's always looking stressed, she can't gather herself together, that is a true reflection of the man she's with. That man is a burden. That man is causing her stress. And I don't want that for you, sis. So if you're not tied into that contract legally, please leave. If you are, I would say it's going to be a bumpy road for you. But please don't forget the fact that as much as you go into a relationship with your heart, you got to let your mind make some decisions, if not majority of them. Otherwise, you will find yourself taking care of him and neglecting yourself because you're trying to make this thing work. A lot of people try to kill people off in relationships on this, let's just make it work, let's just make it work. Hold on. But is it worth it? Is it salvageable? Especially when you're not even married. What are you trying to make work? All this, let's make it work, and the other person's suffering. Nah. If you're trying and making so much of an effort to make something work and you lot ain't even at marriage level, then there's a big review that needs to come into play, because a lot of people like to say it's not about the money. But let me tell you something. If you ain't got your finances together, it will strain even the strongest relationships. Because where you going to live? How you going to eat? What job is it that you need right now to help things be comfortable? Because the foundation of a lot of things when it comes to your mental health is being comfortable in your space. A lot of people, their mattress is on the floor. They don't have a bed. Utility bills, red marks are coming through the letterbox left, right and centre because they ain't paying them. Because a lot of people aren't even taught how to pay bills. There's a lot of grown children in relationships and they ain't even healed out from being children. And then they're throwing themselves in relationships thinking that, oh, if I have someone that loves me, surely that's going to make me a better person. No, you got to put in the work. I'm not saying that you should pause dating, but at least have an intention of being the best you can be before you come expecting somebody else to try and fix you. That's not fair. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of people are forcing themselves in relationships with people, expecting them to fix them. And all you're doing is stressing another person who only came into a relationship with good intentions. Go and do the work on yourself before you become a burden on somebody else. Sis, all I would round up this episode with saying is this. I personally think this isn't the right man for you. If you've got a 35-year-old man who doesn't know how to create contingency plans for something as basic as a holiday, for me, he seems irresponsible. Like, it's not a very responsible man. Because when you go on holiday, you should have not only your bank account into your checking account, you should have a credit card on you, and you should also have a substantial amount of cash. I'm not saying that you have to go there with $5,000, but enough to last you in your period there. And there's some stingy people out there that will say, oh, I don't like to convert a lot of money because if I have to convert it back, then have enough money that you don't have to worry about converting that currency back into whatever country you're coming from. Get your finances together. Yeah, sis, take it easy. I wouldn't accept everything he's saying at face value. I would definitely keep my wits about you if I were you. And your next relationship, because I'll be frank, I don't see this one lasting. Try and put yourself into situations where you can see what kind of leader he is. If there's anything I've learned in my dating experience is that don't take too long or don't wait for opportunities for a man to show you what kind of leader he is. Entrust him. And if he panics, he ain't the guy for you. If he succeeds, then fantastic. So if you can do the getaway quite early in the relationship, take a weekend away, take it. See how he moves with customer service and planning things and booking things and making sure he's on time. If you can make sure you go out on dates regularly, do everything that puts him in a situation to prove what kind of leader he is to you before you make big steps like moving in with someone, marrying someone, sleeping with someone. Yeah. Don't let anybody rush you into these things, because once it's done, it's done. And for him, he's got what he wanted. But for you, it goes deeper than that. The only way to be happy in a relationship is to make sure you are being led by someone you trust. If you don't trust your leader, there's always going to be arguments, because it's the same with countries. If a leader is being challenged by the people in their party and stuff like that, that person's going to be angry, because it's like, why don't you trust my leadership skills, my decision making? If you trust a leader, you don't overly question them. You might ask how he or she plans to go about things, but you don't doubt. And what you want to do is be in a relationship where you don't doubt the person you're following to lead. So good luck with all of that, sis. Keep reminding him to pay you back your money, whether it's the £1,000, whatever. Keep reminding him of that. When it comes to living with him, I would say just have your contingency plan in place. Put a little money aside. So if you need I believe everyone should have, I don't need this stress kind of money. And I don't need this stress is, if he keeps playing the whole I can't pay the rent, you make sure you can pay that rent. And when the terms are up for that contract, you can go. If you're in a situation where whatever, even with work, have your I don't need this headache money. So then when it's time for you to leave, you put your mental health first and you leave. But with that being said, my good sis, I hope you take care of yourself first and foremost, and don't let nobody stress you. You have been listening or watching another banging episode of Hey Sis. Before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment, and if you got any dilemmas, don't be shy to send it over via email or on the Hey Sis _UK Instagram. Other than that, stay blessed.
Because she moved like a queen and I like what I see and I want to get more of that.
I undress and he blows success. Lay down as you decompress. Come mine and forget the stress. Got the 9 to 5 cause he tryna change his life. He can't help it but to show his bad side. So he call me Jesse when he want that good ride. Follow my stride, you know you want a good time. Pick any card, I know it won't decline. He know how to please me, never tease me. Keep me in Givenchy, laced in Gucci. Quick, take the keys and drive to Chelsea. Eat Escalini, order linguine. He ordered the chateau, we got it to go, then flew to the chateau. You already know, friends telling me they see the glow. There's no way they know. Well, I